and there are approximately 4,400 unidentified human remains found on an average year. Now, those numbers are too high, but just as intolerable are the roadblocks that family members are facing when trying to help law enforcement find a missing loved one. Now, this legislation is named after Billy Smolinski of Waterbury, Connecticut. He went missing on August 24th, 2004 at the age of 31. I'll let Billy's mother, Jan, share her family's experience with you today. The Smolinski story is tragic, but their family's pursuit of justice and their desire to change the system for the better is nothing less than heroic. You'll hear their story straight from Jan, but I can tell you this: no one should ever have to face the systematic failures, the frustrations, and the heartbreak that the Smolinskis and thousands of other families have endured in their search to find their loved ones. HR3695, which I'm proud to introduce with really Congress's leading champion on the issue of missing persons, Congressman Ted Poe, tackles three major problems with our nation's missing persons system. First, many law enforcement agencies, medical examiners, and coroners, they don't have the resources to report missing adults and unidentified remains. In fact, according to the Bureau of Justice Statistics, a census that they took of these officials, 80% of those surveyed reported rarely or never using the existing unidentified remains database. Second, there really is no central database to report both missing persons and unidentified remains. Instead, there are a myriad of unconnected federal and state and local and nonprofit databases. This means that a missing persons report may be entered into one database, while a person's remains may be listed in another, making it almost impossible for family members to try to connect those missing pieces. Third, many local law enforcement personnel that just don't know about these databases or how to best handle these cases when they come into law enforcement in the first place. Billy's Law addresses these three problems. First, the legislation provides for the first time statutory authorization for the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System, known, as Mr. Scott said, as NamUs, the web-based database that was created in July 2007 by the Department of Justice. It's the only federal missing persons and unidentified remains database that the public can access and contribute to, and yet it's currently not a congressionally authorized program. Second, the bill connects this database, the public database, NamUs, with the FBI's existing database that's accessible just to law enforcement. This will create a more comprehensive database and streamline the reporting processes. Third, it creates a competitive grants program to incentivize reporting to this new connected database. Funds could be used to develop and implement training on how to best use the databases and respond to these cases. And finally, the legislation requires the Department of Justice to issue information about the databases and best practices for responding to cases. As you'll hear from the Smolinskis, part of the problem is that many local law enforcement agencies don't really know how to best interact with families coming forward with these potential missing persons cases. Billy's Law is supported by 21 bipartisan co-sponsors and a host of organizations, including the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, the National Organization of Police Associations, and the National Association of Medical Examiners. Most important, it's supported by countless families throughout the country who have hit brick wall after brick wall in attempting to locate a missing loved one. I am so grateful to you, Chairman Scott, Chairman Conyers, for your prompt and enthusiastic response to the introduction of this legislation. Its passage will fulfill the wishes of the Smolinskis and thousands of other families who want to make sure that their personal nightmares are never repeated. I thank you, and I look forward to answering any questions that you may have.